Hello, everyone. Today is April 6, 2026, the 1/502nd day of the Ukrainian War of Resistance. Welcome to the Tiandao and Tong's channel. Former U.S. President Trump at 12:08 p.m. and 7:52 p.m. on April 5th issued two consecutive statements on Truth Social announcing he rescued the heavily injured F-15 fighter jet crew officer from the deep mountains of Iran. A brave and fearless officer. At that time, the Iranian military deployed a large force for rigorous search and closed in on the target. He is a highly respected colonel, due to the personnel and equipment being in great danger. Such types of raid operations are rarely conducted, simply unheard of. The second raid followed closely after the first one. We rescued the pilot in broad daylight. This is equally unusual. We stayed in the skies over Iran for 7 hours. Everyone demonstrated incredible courage and talent, according to Fox News. This colonel was in a coma due to severe concussion after ejecting the scene, initially unable to send a distress signal. Later, when he regained consciousness, he contacted headquarters at 12 noon on Friday to avoid being discovered. He followed the requirements of the many years of SERE training, quickly moved away from the wreckage, entered the high-altitude mountains to seek cover. He climbed to the highest point, walked about 10 to 12 kilometers, hid in a rock crevice, and sent precise coordinates on Friday night. At that time, the Iranian military and local villagers were conducting massive attacks, while this pilot held out with only a pistol for nearly 48 hours. Meanwhile, the CIA implemented a deception operation, leaked false information about a sea evacuation, aimed to divert the Iranian troops from the area where the downed F-15 pilot was. Officials stated that this tactic was effective. Subsequently, the U.S. military deployed two C-130J Special Operations aircraft, carried 4 MH-6 Little Bird helicopters. The special forces that arrived earlier built a temporary runway for landing. One of the Little Bird helicopters flew to the mountaintop area after loading, rescued the pilot, and took it back to the evacuation runway. The MH-6 Little Bird helicopter is equipped with machine guns, rockets, missiles, and strong ground attack rifle, light and agile, very suitable for evading ground fire attacks while being flexible in narrow mountain spaces. Most importantly, the Little Bird can fold its rotor and be transported by C-130. In the final stage of the rescue, due to the soft sand on the temporary runway, the two C-130JS became stuck and couldn't take off. 3 KC-295W light transport aircraft were then urgently dispatched to evacuate the rescued pilot and special forces personnel. At the final stage of the rescue, due to the sand's softness on the makeshift runway, 2 C-130J aircraft became stuck in the sand and couldn't take off. Subsequently, 3 C-295W light transport aircraft were urgently dispatched for the evacuation of the rescued pilots and special forces personnel. At present, the U.S. Air Force is only equipped with 6 C-295W light transport aircraft belonging to the mysterious U.S. Air Force 42nd Special Operations Squadron. Fortunately, this unit is on standby on the front line. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. To prevent 2 C-130JS from falling into enemy hands, the U.S. military destroyed them and the 4 MH-6 Little Bird helicopters they carried. Subsequently, drones repeatedly bombed the wreckage until it was pulverized. During the entire rescue process, dozens of various U.S. combat aircraft continuously attacked the approaching Revolutionary Guards and Boston militia, causing heavy casualties. According to reports from Iranian state television, 4 Iranian officers were killed in the bombing operation. In this highly complex rescue operation that lasted 7 days, the U.S. military suffered no casualties. After eliminating a large number of enemy personnel, they safely withdrew, using 2 C-130J Special Operations aircraft, 4 MH-6 Little Bird helicopters, and 2 Reaper drones. Faced with the loss of equipment, the Democrats and the left criticized Trump. Former commander of the U.S. Central Command, General McKenzie, stated in an interview with Fox News, "It takes only a year to build an aircraft, but 200 years to establish a military tradition of leaving no soldier behind." In this rescue operation, although the U.S. military's equipment loss was about $200 million. However, the equipment left to the Taliban by Biden during the Afghan withdrawal was worth as much as $7.1 billion. Yet the left and the Democratic Party have consistently turned a blind eye. U.S. President Trump stated on Truth Social and in a 15-minute phone interview with Fox News that if an agreement is not reached immediately, the U.S. military will blow up bridges and power plants across Iran, the final step being to directly seize their oil. The call also revealed that earlier this year, during protests in Iran, the U.S. sent a large number of guns to Iranian protesters through the Kurds. However, the Kurds swallowed up the entire batch of arms halfway. Just as the U.S. president issued a countdown to opening the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S.-Israeli coalition launched a fierce attack on the Iranian Air Force Base west of Tehran Mirabad Airport. In addition, last night in the city of Ahvaz, Khuzestan province, the U.S.-Israeli coalition destroyed most of the 92nd Armored Division. The 92nd Armored Division is Iran's only regular armored unit. It is also the unit responsible for patrolling the Iraqi border. Leaked videos show terrifying loud noises over Tehran last night. For more than 30 minutes, it sounded like a huge fuel tank kept exploding. Local people said the air was filled with a strong smell of gasoline and sulfur. Fearing damage to the main gas pipeline, people fled their homes. And at the same time, the Israeli Defense Forces announced that within 12 hours, the Israeli Air Force had struck more than 120 targets of the Iranian regime. This strike destroyed key defense facilities that threatened Israeli aircraft, ensuring Israel continues to maintain air superiority over Iran. Sources report that another negotiating condition between the U.S. and Iran is to hand over enriched oil. If not agreed upon, the next action by the U.S. Special Forces is to seize it. Although this information has yet to be confirmed, according to a report by Russian media on April 4th, Rosatom Chiolikhachev stated in an interview that after the attack on Iran's Bushehr nuclear power plant, company personnel at the plant began evacuating by bus to the Iranian-Armenian border, planning to fly back to Russia from Yerevan, the capital of Armenia. A total of 198 people were in the first batch of evacuees. In the Russia-Ukraine war aspect, last night, Ukrainian drones attacked the Russian oil export terminal in Novorossiysk, with leaked videos confirming this. Another video shows Russia beginning to deploy a large amount of military equipment from the direction opposite Zaporozhye towards Zaporizhzhia. According to Andrew Shenko's report, this activity has been ongoing for 4 consecutive days, with an average of 50 to 60 vehicles daily, including armored vehicles and trailers. This move indicates that there is indeed a problem with the Russian military on the southern line. And today, the Ushuri River turbine system, developed by Ukraine's Norbert company, officially debuted. According to the developer, the system can covertly transport underwater obstacles, such as anti-pre superfloating bridge mines and water nets, and can tow cargo weighing up to 500 kilograms. Okay, that's the information shared today. Thank you for your support of Tiandao Yutong. Next up is a selection of videos. Please don't swipe away. Ming Pao, Canada.